Tunisia's economy is diverse from farming to tourism and manufacturing. The services sector makes up the bulk of it, but industry, including the garment business, accounts for more than a third of the country's output. Now, as Ben Wiedemann found out, Tunisia is taking steps to enter the high-tech world.
The mold comes out of the fire and is then filled with white-hot metal. The Eurocast factory in Tunis produces precision parts for the Boeing 737's fuel injection system. Every 737 has a piece of Tunisia in it. Just one example of how this small North African country is breaking into high-tech sectors long dominated by the developed world. Precision is the byword here. In this industry, there's no room for sloppiness. Every piece goes through a long process of refinement before it's ready to be shipped, including quality control using the latest technology. All this hard work, however, has paid off, says Eurocast Director of Operations Adel Saoudi.
From 2004 and 2005, we were shown almost between 30 and 50% growth every year, except for the last year.
Then business did drop off, but they expect 2010 to be another good year. All this made possible, says Eurocast's American Director General Tom Wendt, by forward-looking investment policies.
There's a real commitment from the government at all levels. We can see in terms of the capital investment, the infrastructure, the roads are being approved, the capability of all the suppliers, the kind of people that are here. There's nothing holding them back.
At the La Telec plant nearby, it's all about wires, seemingly endless expanses of the stuff. It will all go into the Airbus A320, which contains a mind-boggling 500 kilometers, 310 miles of wiring.
Here is the plant, and this is the cockpit. And in our plant, we are producing this rack, all this rack, and we are producing all this harness, yellow harness. They is going from the cockpit to the wings and in the bottom of the airplane.
It takes 6 weeks of classroom instruction, 6 weeks of hands-on practical training, and nearly a year on the factory floor before these workers master this complicated task. La Telec ran into slight turbulence because of the world economic downturn, says CEO Hassouna Fatnassi, but now it's flying steady. We haven't been greatly affected, he says. We haven't had to lay off workers, though we briefly reduced the work week for some workers from 40 to 35 hours, but now we're back to normal. The real frontier in Tunisia's high-tech boom can be found at Telnet, a software development company housed in a futuristic headquarters. With clients including the U.S. government, Telnet is developing software for, among other things, biometrics, a booming business in an increasingly paranoid world, as Telnet marketing director Munther Mekni explains.
And the new generation of biometrics is called the veins. The advantage of the veins are non-reproducible. Nobody can reproduce your veins. People can reproduce your fingerprints, but nobody can reproduce your veins.
Telnet focuses on research and development for clients in Europe, North America, and elsewhere. They do the brainy stuff. Their clients actually make the product.
We design the hardware, and then on top of the hardware, we design what's called the embedded software.
So basically your client says, we want the following, and you have to come up with the real thing.
Yeah.
Whether it's state-of-the-art software or high-tech airplane components, Tunisia hasn't lost its heat in this long winter of economic discontent. Ben Wiedemann, CNN, for Marketplace Middle East, Tunis.
And before we go, last week we took you from sand to snow, Riyadh to Davos. This week we take you behind the scenes on that journey with the chief executive of Ernst & Young, Jim Turley. So we're on our way now from the Four Seasons in Riyadh to an airport. We're following our host, Jim Turley of Ernst & Young. One important thing to do before you take off is to either call or SMS your other half, especially when you're in Saudi Arabia. Let them know everything is okay.
Yeah, I replied to you.
So this is the transition. It took us 5 minutes to get through customs, which is a distinct advantage, of course. And it's bloody cold.
It's certainly colder than Riyadh. From the sun to the snow.
Sand to snow.
Sand to snow. You're right, both. From sand to snow.
Thanks for your hospitality.
Thank you very much. We'll talk to you tomorrow
See
sometime.
you in the halls. Yeah?
Yes, bye-bye.
Yeah, have a nice evening. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
A little fun to round out the week. And that's it for this edition of CNN Marketplace Middle East. I'm John Defterius. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.